Understanding what's best for your dog. As a dog owner, you always strive to do what's best for your furry companion. But how confident are you in knowing what that truly is? The mistakes we make as pet parents can have profound and long-lasting effects on our dog's well-being. In this video, we'll explore 16 common mistakes that your dog may never forgive you for. These actions don't just upset your dog in the moment, they can also have a lasting impact on their mental health, potentially affecting them for a lifetime. What are these mistakes, and how can you avoid them? The first step is to watch this video carefully. Your dog's future happiness could depend on what you learn here. Before we dive in, consider subscribing to our K9 loving community to help you become the best dog parent you can be. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update when we post new content. 16. Sending mixed messages. Sometimes, you know your dog shouldn't be allowed to do something, but their behavior is so funny or cute that you can't bring yourself to correct them. This is especially common with puppies, who have an uncanny ability to look irresistibly adorable, even when they're chewing on your favorite sock. However, it's important to stay firm. While it might feel like you're being kind by letting things slide, what you're actually doing is confusing your dog. When you fail to enforce a rule, your dog doesn't think, "Oh, my human is being nice and letting me off the hook this time." Instead, they think, "I guess this isn't against the rules after all. I'll remember that." The next time they repeat the behavior and you react differently, they'll have no idea why you're suddenly upset. Dogs thrive on consistency and predictability, and frequent mixed signals can make them anxious and unsure around you. 15. Disrupting their routine. Dogs are creatures of habit, and they rely on routines to feel secure and happy. It's easy to overlook how strange and unpredictable life can be for a dog. After all, they live with a giant, hairless human who takes them out of the house, transports them in a loud, four-wheeled machine, and leads them around on a leash at a pace much slower than they'd naturally walk. Sometimes their human brings strangers into their home, disrupting their sense of territory, and other times they're taken to unfamiliar places, including the homes of other dogs. To cope with this chaotic existence, dogs rely on routines to make sense of their world. For example, they learn that certain times of the day are for walks, meals, or naps. Without a consistent routine, your dog can become anxious and stressed, unsure of what to expect next. 14. Misunderstanding hugs. While humans often find comfort in hugs, dogs don't share the same sentiment. Hugging isn't a natural behavior for dogs. They don't have arms, and the closest equivalent in canine behavior is when one dog pins another during a confrontation. As a result, dogs often interpret hugs as a form of restraint, which can make them feel uncomfortable or threatened. While some dogs may tolerate hugs, doing it too often can lead to fear or anxiety, damaging the trust between you and your pet. It's important to respect your dog's boundaries and find other ways to show affection that they'll appreciate. 13. Startling them while they sleep. The saying, "let sleeping dogs lie," exists for a good reason. While your dog may look adorable curled up on the couch, waking them suddenly can trigger a reaction known as sleep startle. This is especially common in dogs who didn't have much human interaction early in life, such as former strays or dogs raised in kennels. When startled awake, these dogs may react defensively, sometimes even biting, because they don't immediately recognize their surroundings or the person touching them. This can severely damage the bond between you and your dog, so it's best to let them wake up on their own terms. 12. Delaying corrections. No one enjoys scolding their dog, but it's necessary to set boundaries and teach them appropriate behavior. However, timing is crucial. If you need to correct your dog for misbehaving, it's essential to do so within the first 30 seconds of the action. Dogs don't understand delayed consequences. If you scold them hours after they've done something wrong, they won't connect the correction to their behavior. For example, if your dog knocks over the trash can and you only discover it later, there's no point in reprimanding them. They'll simply think you're upset for no reason, which can lead to confusion and anxiety. 11. Suppressing natural behavior. When setting rules for your dog, it's important to strike a balance between discipline and allowing them to express their natural instinct. Behaviors like barking, chewing, and indoor accidents are all part of being a dog, but they can be frustrating for owners. Instead of simply punishing these behaviors, try to address the underlying causes. For example, if your dog is chewing on furniture, provide them with appropriate chew toys. If they're barking excessively, they may be anxious or bored, so finding ways to boost their confidence and provide mental stimulation can help. 10. Forgetting to reward good behavior. Positive reinforcement is just as important as correcting bad behavior. When your dog follows a command or behaves well, it's crucial to reward them, even if it's just with verbal praise or a quick pat. Failing to acknowledge their good behavior can make them feel unappreciated and less motivated to follow commands in the future. For example, if you tell your dog to sit and stay while you're busy, don't forget to thank them or give them a treat after. Otherwise, they may start to wonder why they're bothering to obey at all. 9. Taking away their belonging. Dogs can be surprisingly possessive of their toys and other belongings. If you take something away from them before they're done with it, it can lead to resource guarding, where your dog becomes overly protective of their possession. This can make them anxious and even aggressive when someone approaches their toys. To avoid this, let your dog finish playing with their toys before taking them away, and always provide plenty of alternatives to keep them entertained. 8. Overwhelming them at the dog park. While the dog park can be a great place for socialization, it can also be overwhelming for some dogs. The noise, smells, and presence of other dogs can be too much for sensitive pups. Pay attention to your dog's body language if they're panting excessively, tucking their tail, or trying to hide. It's a sign they're not enjoying themselves. In such cases, it's best to remove them from the situation and try again another time when they're more comfortable. 7. Miscommunication during training. Training your dog can be frustrating, especially when they don't seem to understand what you're asking. However, the issue is often miscommunication rather than stubbornness. For example, your dog might learn to sit on command in your living room, but have no idea what you're asking when you try the same command in the park. Be patient and consistent, and remember that your dog is doing their best to understand you. 6. Invisible reward. When rewarding your dog with treats, make sure they can see and access the reward. Dogs have evolved to track moving objects, so if you toss a treat in a way that's hard for them to see, they might not even realize you've given them anything. This can lead to frustration and confusion, making them feel like they're being unfairly denied a reward. 5. Pushing them too hard. While it's natural to want to show off your dog's skills or encourage them to socialize, pushing them too hard can backfire. If your dog is shy or anxious, forcing them into unfamiliar situations can make them more fearful. Instead, take things slow and let your dog set the pace for new experiences. 4. Misusing the crate. Crate training can be a valuable tool, but it's important to use the crate correctly. If you send your dog to their crate as a form of punishment, they may start to associate it with negative experiences. This can make them reluctant to use the crate, even when it's meant to be a safe and comfortable space. 3. Confusing commands. Using multiple commands for the same behavior can confuse your dog. For example, saying stay, stop, and don't move interchangeably can make it hard for your dog to understand what you want. Stick to one consistent command for each behavior to avoid confusion. 2. Teasing your dog. While playful teasing might seem harmless, it can be confusing and upsetting for your dog. Actions like pretending to throw a ball or blowing in their face can make them feel like you're being mean for no reason. Always consider your dog's feelings and avoid teasing them in ways they don't understand or enjoy. 1. Discouraging affection. One of the greatest joys of having a dog is the love and affection they show. However, if you consistently push your dog away or react negatively to their displays of affection, they may stop showing it altogether. Be mindful of how you respond to your dog's attempts to connect with you, as you could unintentionally train them to be less affectionate. By understanding and avoiding these common mistakes, you can strengthen your bond with your dog and ensure they live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. Remember, your dog's well-being depends on your ability to communicate effectively and provide a safe, loving environment.